Now that she was closer, she could see Alfie happily bounding in between the waves and chasing after the gulls, who were already growing tired of his games. Margaret called out to him but was ignored. She quickened her pace and was rewarded with aches and pains. Those damn seagulls were a nuisance. Of course, their abhorrent behaviour was thanks to the tourists. Each summer, hordes of them descended upon the beach with their ice cream cones and Cornish pasties and home-baked goods, and they would throw their scraps to the birds, ignoring the signs all over Porth and Jowl that blatantly commanded, "Do not feed the seagulls." And of course, the gulls grew bigger and more aggressive. Then came the news reports of young children being attacked, ice cream cones snatched from their hands. But still the tourists fed the birds and laughed as the creatures swooped over their heads. At the end of each season, the tourists would go home, but the gulls remained, fat and growing more dangerous with each passing season. She knew Alfie could handle himself, mostly, but there had been a story last summer about a small terrier who had been torn to pieces by a flock of gulls right in front of its owner. Her legs aching, Margaret hurried towards the shore. Alfie was oblivious, splashing and barking, the seabirds flapping around his head. But then he froze. Forgetting the birds, he pointed his nose into the air and sniffed. Margaret came closer. Alfie suddenly turned and dashed through the flotsam, racing along the edge of the beach. Margaret followed with her eyes. He had come to a halt and was barking loudly. Turning direction, she attempted to catch up with him. As she came closer, she finally saw the cause of his excitement. There was something on the beach, lying at the edge of the tide, something that looked like an animal. At first, she thought it was a seal, washed up on the shore. It wasn't unheard of to find seals splashing in the waters of Porth and Jowl. Upon occasion, even dolphins could be seen. But as she drew nearer, as her aging eyesight pulled into focus, she saw that it was no seal. It was a body.